guys, BBI here. I want to stop and say thanks for tuning in and checking out whatever the video is about that's about ready to come up next. If you could take a minute and hit subscribe, I greatly appreciate it. And if you enjoy what you've seen here, make sure to hit the like button. We'd greatly appreciate your support. Anyhow, guys, all that aside, let's get on with the show. Let's have ourselves a little bit of fun here. So here we are on 160 meters. Hello, 480 watts on 160. Change our band. Now we're going to go to 80 meters. So over here is a 1000 watt Silgan peak, 1000 average 5 watt Silgan reverse. We have this currently set for RF power on the front. So let's turn this off real quick. Let me show you drive. Hello, about 80-90 watts. Turn this on. Hello, hello. Nice solid half kW. Okay. So go on up here to the magic band. Or no, pardon me. 40 meters. My bad. Hello. 600 whole watts. Hello. Okay, now we'll go to 30. So now we're going to run it on 30. Hello. Hello. Not the most resonant on 30 meters, but hello. Only putting out half the power. Oh, I'm on AM. Let's go to sideband. Hello. Okay, now I get a little bit better performance. Turn the amp back on. Hello. 600 watts. Okay, so now we'll go on up here to 20. And what we're using today to run this with is the ICOM 7300. Hello. 600 watts. Please note I changed bands. I didn't have to touch anything. Okay, we're going to do 18 and 21. So let's go on over here to 17 meters. Hello. Please note it sees that as an overdrive if I'm not stepping on the pedal. So we'll clear that fault. Just showed you 100 watts worth of drive. Hello. That's 620 watts. So let's go ahead and we'll go on up to, I believe, 12 meter band. 15 meters, pardon me. Hello. Almost 700 watts. And then we'll go ahead and we'll go on up to the now 12 meter band. Hello. On AM again. All right, now to sideband. Hello. Those are 600 watts. Don't need to touch anything here at all. And we'll jump right on to 10. Hello. 1 2. Hello. 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. This is a neat little amp. Very rare. Okay. Now that we know it works everywhere, let's really take a look at it. So this is the Tokyo High Power 1.2 KFX. It's basically a 700 watt, 750 watt, solid state, no tune, all band, all mode, all operation amplifier. These Tokyo High Powers are very hard to find. When this thing came out in the 80s, it was an incredibly expensive amplifier. In its day, I do believe these sold for like 17 and some change, depending on what mods you had done. This has got everything in it. Now, we do have the original color instruction manual directly from Tokyo High Power. Now, what I want to do is I want to look in here because with 100 watts of drive, I wanted to see something here. 1 kW, 1 kilowatt, 1 minute. Okay. 4 amplifier, sure. Dummy load. 1 kW rated. The required power level is slightly less than 100 watts to obtain the full 750 watts output. Do not attempt to operate this with excessive drive for high power transistors. Okay, so we did it right. We ran it right. Micro results in the 750 watts PEP sideband max. On HHF, the amplifier board characteristics require no further tuning once the operation band has been selected. Well, we know that to be true. Now we were running this on 110, okay? It's got a little switch on the very bottom, down over here, 110, 220. Here's our specifications. This is what I wanted to look at. Output power, 750 watts max, 630 watts in CW, period. RF drive, typically 85 watts, so 75 to 95 watts max. Class AB, parallel push-pull. It's forced air cooled. This thing's neat. It's got 4 SD2933 MOSFETs in it. Not LD MOS, but MOSFETs. And what makes that cool is that they're cheap. Each one of the finals in this amplifier are $23 a piece. And you can buy them everywhere. This isn't an RF parts only exclusive device. This is legit. Literally go buy it anywhere. DigiKey, Mouser. This transistor that they have in here is so versatile. It does 0 through 30 megahertz on this particular model, and then they have another model that does 30 on up, and then they got another one that does 2 meters, and that goes way up. It's a very, very flexible MOSFET. But I wanted to show you guys the inside. This thing is pretty on the inside. They took a ton of time designing this thing. This is your band filter board here. There's a ton of taps on this thing. You got a 0, 5 volt, 100 volt, 110 volt, 120 volt, 0, 5 volt, and then of course it's opposite side on the output side. The final section, the taps for it are over here. It's at 43 volt, I do believe. It's fully regulated at 50 volts. And it's got a shunt. That's a shunt, believe it or not. And that's this meter shunt built in so you can see what your current draw is on your final PA section. Really cool. Big filtering capacitor. It's just neat. This is, on a scale of 1 to 10, I would say in its time this thing was a 10. Because there wasn't a whole lot of no-tune amplifiers out there. And if they were crap. This was solid as a rock. I had its little baby brother here that had 4 2879 Toshibas in it, but they had a sticker on top, so they had their own part number for the transistor. But if you're really careful and you peel that sticker back, you can see it's a Toshiba underneath. It was an all-band, no-tune amplifier itself. The guy that got it loves it. Absolutely loves it. He uses it on the HF bands. Just got it in his truck. Absolutely kick-ass little amplifier. Plug in a wall, no tune, idiot free. This is the cat's ass. Now, there are some others now, talking like 30 years after the fact. There are some others that are out there now that are made like by AgCom, by AgCom and a couple other companies. The guys are just now getting wise to using the MOSFET final sections in these bigger boxes. Now, the Kenwood, there was the Kenwood full legal limit unit that came out around the same time. These are the only two in the market share at the moment. 1 second, you guys. And this thing's cool. Really all I had to do was blow it out with an air compressor and clean up the knobs. I took the fan off the back and cleaned it so it was dust free, and it's just got desert dust in it. There's some things that I think are really cool about this, like it utilizes spreader technology. That's what this copper sheet is here. It's a 1/4 inch thick piece of copper. And then they've got you can see one of the edges of the FETs here, this guy right here. They've got the FETs faced so that they've got 1, 2, 3, and then 4 spaced out over a large hunk of heatsink. But it's forced air cooled, the whole thing, the transformer, everything. There's a lot of really heavy duty thinking that went on in the inside of this. It's really service friendly too. It's the other thing I think it's neat. Even though I've never seen one of these broken, because usually the people that buy these respect what they have. You undo these 2 screws, there's 2 more on the bottom, and the whole RF tray lays out. I mean, you got to undo some wires and stuff, but it just lays out. And the same thing with the transformer. Metering board's just as easy accessible. The tuner board's just as easily accessible. Just incredibly smart. Just the way they laid this out, and it's such a small package. I mean, come on, it's Tokyo High Power. I shouldn't need to say anything more, and it's Tokyo High Power. Just a cool little amp. When I seen this thing come up for sale, I was like, I don't care what that costs, we must have that. I want to do a video on it. I want everybody to be able to look on the inside of it. The manual that comes with it is really cool. Back when people cared and not everything was done on a PDF file. It's got full-blown schematics for every single one of the different boards that's in the amp. I mean, full-blown schematics. And then to be able to understand what the board is, they have the same, this is the top bottom view. You don't even need to open an amp up to look on the inside of it. It's inside the manual. And then they show you what all the different boards are and the part numbers, what the parts are. And then they give us a reference sheet to tell us what the values of all the components are throughout each one of the boards. Very, very, very well laid out. This will run on 110 and 220. It's a great little amplifier. And there's some ham guy out there right now that is just drooling, saying, come on, BBI, tell me how much it's going to be. Well, we're stuck firm at $2,500 on this. It's very unique. It's very rare. It's a great example. And on a scale to 1 to 10, this is a 9.9. And the reason it's not a perfect 10 is because there's tiny little nicks in the edge of the paint around the face. That's it. It's a 9.9, and it's rare as rare can be. Now, it will come with a 110 plug and then a 220 adapter plug. Inside this box is a filtering current shunt. So there's an isolation, 1-to-1 isolation transformer inside of this thing with a current overdraw protection in it, which I feel is completely overkill, but that does come with it. Full manual with full schematics. And the knowledge that this thing actually works, you're going to get exactly what you paid for. It's a neat little box. Neat little box. Now remember, it's not an auto key. It's a manual, but it's a 12-volt switch. So your 12-volt drop that comes out of the back of your radio will run the keying circuit. Now, if you're using a foot pedal like what I was doing for the video, this thing is smart. Okay? You can't overdrive it. You can't overheat it. You can't run it too high of an SWR. It's got circuits for all of that, and it'll limit everything. Hence the reason these things don't break very often, is because they've got all the circuitry in them to maintain the fact that it's not going to be able to get broken. Like, you're not going to be able to run it in too high of an SWR aspect ratio. It'll shut itself off. You can't put a 200 watt radio into this. It'll shut itself off. Now guys, please note, I did not try this on 11 meters because it won't work. It won't work. So my CB buddies that are going to watch this, this is not an amplifier for you all. It's not. This thing will work on all the amateur bands, but will not work anywhere else. I will not modify this to work anywhere else, so please don't ask. When I go and I do those kind of modifications to something like this, it depreciates the value more than it increases the value for the sale. So we're going to leave it just the way it sits. The screws are all in great condition. None of them are rusted. None of the heads are stripped out. Nothing. This thing is rare, minty mint. Now, I was looking. There are guys that have tried to have sold these, but the posts are all old. They're 5 and 10-year-old posts on eHAM and so forth. The last one of these sold on eBay for $2,100. That was 5 years ago, 4 years ago. This is a rare find. So we're pretty firm where we stand with the money on this because, well, we know it's worth it. This is literally plug into your station and go. They only make one bigger than this, and it's a full kilowatt. It's like 1.2 full kilowatts. So literally double down on this. So just thought I'd do a quick review, show that we have it, show it run, and let you guys take a quick gander at it. Appreciate y'all tuning in. First one to call me or message me, it goes to them. Of course, then I'll change the title of the video to sold. But an actual type accepted, all band, all mode HF amplifier, 0 tune. You just got to tell it what frequency you want to be on. No dents, no dings, and little itty bitty tiny nicks in the paint. I mean, I got to be full disclosure about it. Remember, you're looking at this through like a $6,000 camera, and you can't even see the nicks. That's how small I'm talking about. So it's a 9.9 condition. Give me a ring, you guys. I appreciate y'all tuning in to watch. Bump, bump. I'll see you. Bye.